Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Doctor Who. This week we're on episode 7, is it, JP? 7, I think?
Yep, episode 7, The Long Game.
Episode 7, The Long Game. I'm Josh, and with me as always is my co-host, Jack. JP, how are you doing?
I'm all good, thank you. All good. Even better now I've seen this episode. So, yeah.
Right, well, before we jump in, I want to go off on a complete tangent, if you don't mind. I have just watched one of the Wired autocomplete interviews on YouTube. Have you seen these, right?
No, I've never seen them.
Right, so you get like a celebrity or two celebrities on, and they get handed like a board with their most Googled questions on it, right? And then they reveal it and they answer the questions. And I've just watched Robert Downey Jr. and Christopher Nolan. They're promoting the new Oppenheimer film, right?
Okay, yep.
Robert Downey Jr. has his Iron Man beard. Like, fact, 100%, he's got his Iron Man beard. He's fucking coming back as Iron Man in something, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Look, I'd love him to be honest. I'd love him to. And you've got Armor Wars around the corner. And I know we are going off on a tangent. This is a Doctor Who podcast, but
you've got
Armor Wars around the corner. You got Armor Wars coming around the corner. You know, it's got to be there. It has to be there. But we'll see. We'll see.
He has to be coming back. He's got the beard. We're recording this, just to be clear, on the 20th of June, 20th of July, 2023. It's a Thursday. The interview came out about an hour ago. Go and watch it after this. He has his Iron Man beard. He's either trolling the fuck out of us or he's coming back as Iron Man.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. It's a very good shout.
But anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest and get it recorded and out there in the world in case it does happen. And I'll be like, I was the first fucking one to call it, even though this episode is going to come out in like a week's time. So
there we go. But the 20th of July, though, that's important, ladies and gentlemen.
That is important. The 20th Remember of July. That. The 20th of July, over a week before you were listening to this, I called it. So when you see all the headlines coming up 2 or 3 days ago, I recorded it first.
Oh, you're getting a little behind the scenes there, you know.
But anyway, moving on. Before we start, I put a poll up on Instagram because the new sonic screwdriver was revealed today. Have you seen it, JP?
No, I haven't yet, actually. No, I've literally recorded fresh off of finishing at work. So, so I've jumped straight in, so I haven't.
So the new sonic screwdriver looks like a short little fat penis. I'm not a big fan of it. So I thought I'd put a poll up. What's the best sonic screwdriver? I suppose you haven't seen them. You've only seen the first one, right, JP?
I've only seen the first one. I'm now just Googling to see what the latest sonic screwdriver looks like. So carry on talking. I'm just Googling. Yeah. So professionalism.
I'll pad for time. So I thought I'd put a poll up to see what everyone's favorite one is. And surprisingly, Matt Smith's sonic screwdriver is winning at the minute on 36% of the vote, closely followed by my favorite, Peter Capaldi's, the 12th Doctor. And then we've got Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant's in the 3rd place, and Jodie Whittaker's unsurprisingly in on 4th place. So, yeah, I mean, new sonic screwdriver looks fine. It looks like a throwback to like Christopher Eccleston's with a bit of Matt Smith's and Capaldi's thrown in there as well. But have you got it up, JP?
Well, God, that's a dodgy question to be asking, but yeah, sure. You know, I've got to say, I'm liking it. I actually quite like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Maybe it'll grow.
I don't know. I like the little kind of brass rings that rotate around, like near the top. I quite like that.
Anyway, just have a quick look at the Insta story and see out of the 4 on there, which is your favorite.
Okay, let's go to the Insta. So let's have a look.
I refuse to pad for time this time. We're going to sit in silence until you've looked at it. And I'm not editing it out.
By the way,
either.
The Insta tag, DocWhoPod, give us a follow on there. In fact, you know what? I can see you've actually put it up there as well. Okay, so what's my favourite screw? Oh, God, number 4 is a bit weird. That's a strange one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for 3 kind of looks like R2D2 has been mashed up a bit, doesn't it, really? You know,
it does a little bit.
And, yeah, that's a strange one. I'm going to go for number 1. That looks to me... if someone said a sonic screwdriver, I'd say number 1.
Interesting. I actually have number 1 and number 3 as a toy back home in one of my drawers.
That's probably where I recognised it from, actually. So, go on. I can see our votes. So 22% have said number 1. So, who's this number 1 then?
That's the one we're watching at the minute.
That is Christopher Eccleston.
And,
Oh,
David
that's probably why I
Tennant's, yeah.
like it the most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll
there
be
you go.
why you like it. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so
Okay.
yeah, follow the Insta. JP, do you want to mention the Twitter?
Yeah, so we this week have we've gone for a Twitter account as well. Give us a follow on there. We'll we'll be as responsive as we can. And yeah, we'll just put as many updates if there's any polls or anything like that. It will go on there as well, along with TikTok, Instagram, and Thread as well. We're covering all the bases.
We
But the
really
Twitter
are.
handle, nice and simple, at DocWhoPod, and that's it. Same as the Instagram.
Same as every social media. I hate social media, Jack. This is a means to an end, I tell you. But anyway, shout out to
Ah,
Vortex Doctor, who also agrees that Peter Capaldi's Sonic Screwdriver is the best because it is. It just is. That's the end of it. Over. Anyway, the long game, JP.
the long game, like this introduction, it is a very long introduction. But
It's quite a
yeah,
long intro,
the
yeah.
long game. Should let's jump in. So the first note that I've got is the Doctor is the world's best wingman.
Isn't he just that little bit where they
Straight
jump
away,
out the TARDIS?
I love
Love
it.
it.
I love it. It
Yeah.
just he didn't even need any cues or anything like that. He was straight on there, and he was like, "Look, this is it. This is it. We're going over there. Go fish." And then of course Adam comes out, and she's just like, "Yeah, this is. I think this is." And fair play to Rose, because Rose got the brief straight away.
She did,
She knew
didn't she?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing here, and I'm gonna look impressive," and that's it. And
Yeah, I like her improv as well. Oh, I can tell by the architecture. Oh, I can hear the engines. Like, yeah, but hats off to her. That was a good little bit, to be fair. Although I've got to say,
yeah,
when
and
Adam comes out of the TARDIS, it is so obviously just like a box that's been made. That's the most obvious I've seen it all season. Like he's just walking
yeah.
out of a pitch black box. They haven't even
eh,
tried with any visual effects or anything.
no, I was gonna say it did look a bit schwonky, but hey, look, But what was interesting as well is kind of knowing how the episode ends. Rose actually makes a comment about it being very hot. When
Yes,
she comes
straight
out,
off
she
the
says, "Oh,
bat.
it's a
Yes,
bit hot,"
straight off
straight
the
out the
bat.
bat. So straight away, I mean, of course, you know as you kind of as you carry on watching the episode, but straight off the bat, she says, "Oh, it's really hot." So a little hint that something's not right straight away, and of course, you can see the Doctor's very confused. And kind of he's looking and he's just like something's not right. And again, it's great acting by Christopher Eccleston there.
Yep.
He's playing someone that's trying to show that everything's in control, but at the same time he's sitting there thinking, what's up, and I can't put my finger on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
Kind of the dark. No, it's very cool. Yeah, I love it. And then they go to the viewing platform, viewing deck, whatever you want to call it. And they look out onto the Earth, which has skyscrapers the size of cities. And I'm just looking at it and thinking, that's Coruscant. They've done Star Wars, haven't they?
Oh yeah, that is it. It is. I mean, look, I don't know how. I'm assuming when they made Coruscant, they were kind of going for just a kind of a metropolis that was a world. But if you think about it, I mean, it's the year 200,000 AD.
Yeah.
There's going to be loads. There's going to be
Yeah.
grass isn't going to be needed to be done because the technology's there to replicate. It's kind of a cold world, but you can see the way that that's the world. The world's going forward. But the only thing I did mention, like kind of I did think was it's the year 200,000 AD, but it looked very rusty. And I know that that's again explained further down the episode, but I was like, they could have at least kind of made the technology to have material that doesn't rust.
But yeah, but I think that's the Star Wars effect again, isn't it? When OG Star Wars came out, it was this is the future,
Hmm.
but it's a lived-in future. That was what George Lucas wanted to get across, and it's same thing. And obviously,
Yeah,
it's been set back 100 years.
that's true. Or 91 years, wasn't it?
91,
From
sorry,
memory.
yeah,
Yeah, the
91.
can't look me
Jesus,
being specific.
someone's just watched the fucking episode.
But yeah, so that was my thought. I was just like, oh, okay, fair enough. But again, I know it is you say it's like George Lucas with Star Wars. He took inspiration. He was helping on a salt mine kind of factory, and everything was very rusted because of the salt. Salt just corrodes metal. And,
Yep.
and he looked at
Yep.
it and he was like, "That's what I want. I want a future, but as you say, a lived-in future." So
Lived
I,
in
you know, I
future, yeah.
did get it, but yeah. So and then of course we go straight into kind of what I'm assuming was trying to be Dagenham Market, but on a food kind of basis instead. And the one thing that really did strike me there, and it made me think of a story that Ian McKellen actually said
Go
about
on.
being home. because the vendor calls the doctor sweetheart. He says, "Oh yeah, for you, sweetheart," or something like that. And it made
Right.
me think of a story. There was an interview with Sir Ian McKellen. I couldn't tell you when. Not recent. It must be kind of 10 years ago. And he
Right.
tells a story about going home. And he says he knew he was home because when he jumped in the cab driver, who was this kind of just this massive bloke, just said, "Oh, where we going to, love?" And that's it. Like and it's I think it's yeah, I'm sure it was Manchester. I'm sure he went to Manchester
Yeah,
and he was
definitely
like the
up
cab
north.
driver,
Yeah.
big old mank, and the guy was just like, "Yeah, where you going to, love?" And it's just like, I mean, like around kind of an Essex, you wouldn't call another man, especially another man that you don't know, love.
No,
You'd be like,
exactly. Yeah.
what are you doing? But and that's the thing. And I thought I did think that might have been like a kind of a little bit of inspiration because Manchester and everything like that. And I was like, oh, that's quite a nice touch. But yeah, maybe chuckled. Maybe chuckled.
Yeah. See, I thought that was a comment on like how sex and gender doesn't. We won't get into it because I had to edit quite a bit out last week. But how sex and gender is not anything anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a bit where
Yeah,
she spikes for the first time, and she sits down. She says something like, "Ladies, gentlemen, multi-sex, undecided, or robot."
she
I
does.
was,
Yes. No, you're right. Yeah. No, I suppose. Well, again, I suppose it's kind of the Star Trek thing, isn't it? You look at Star Trek and it's just kind of nobody cares. That's the thing, isn't it?
exactly.
It's
Nobody
just like, it is
cares.
what it is. My favorite saying, "It is what it is."
Yeah,
That's
the
it.
worst
But
saying in the fucking
I
world.
love
But
that
yeah,
saying. Yeah. But no, so that was something. But yeah, no, actually thinking about it, it might just be just a general comment. You may just call everyone sweetheart. But yeah, did make me laugh though. And then of course they meet the two journalists there, whose names escape me.
Suki and Katika, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think it was Calcutta though, because that's a place. But yeah, maybe laugh because the not Suki, the other lady. I'm gonna have to Google this again. Real professionalism I'm identifying here, but she
Kathika, I think it was
Kafka. That's it. Yeah,
something
no, it
like
was
that.
Kafka. So Kafka, she she's like, "Oh, who are you? Who are you?" And then the doctor, of course, brings out his little ID card, and she just changes her tone on a dime.
Oh
She's just like,
yes,
"Yep."
yeah,
Straight away, she's like, she sees that promotion, and
yeah.
again, I kind of got that feeling that Russell T Davis, the overall theme for this episode was a kind of commentary on the corporate rat race.
Oh mate, don't
Everyone
even.
is.
Yeah,
Oh,
fake
I got a
news,
lot of
immigration.
vibes.
They've done a good job at like predicting the future there, but it's not 200,000 years in the future. It was 20 years in the future. I've got
Yeah,
that
but I
whole
mean,
bit with Simon Pegg. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you are describing 2023. It's insane.
yeah, I mean, this is the thing though, because it's always, I'm yeah, especially with the corporate thing as well. When you work in a big company, you're always looking up. You're not looking about where you're around.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
people didn't. They're not worried about their surroundings being dirty and rusty and almost inhumane. They're looking up. They're like, no, the walls are gold up top. That's where I want to go. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that you shouldn't be motivated in life to achieve, but at the same time, though, you sometimes got to stop and you just got to look and just go, "This is where I am. I've done well."
I
But
totally agree. I am actually going to
yeah,
take a second now that you've brought it up to plug my other podcast, Two Broke Brokers, because I have a huge thing on this. We're all so focused on moving up the ladder that we lose sight of what we're actually doing, which I think is a huge message in this episode. And it's bullshit.
it
We're all
is.
conditioned to be on this rat race, to keep on moving up, to keep on doing
Oh
this, to keep
no.
on buying the new things, keep on doing this, doing this. It's not important. We need to be. I'm not going to rant about it here. If you do want to
I'm
hear me
so
rant
sorry.
about
I've
it,
set him
Two
off.
Broke
Oh
Brokers.
no.
I hadn't even picked up on
Oh,
that until you've just brought it up. This
oh
is not in my
no.
notes at all. It's bullshit, man. It is
Oh
absolute
no.
bullshit. And it comes back around in this series without spoiling anything. This is called The Long Game, and it comes back around, and it's fucking bullshit, JP. And we're all fucking suffering from it as well. We are all having this information fucking fed into our brains through social media and through fucking fake news, and it's killing us, and we're not progressing as a society as a fucking result of it.
I've just solved the Rubik's Cube in your rant there, by the way. I've solved the Rubik's Cube, made a cup of tea, I put the dinner on. Honestly, that was incredible. But I'm sorry for setting him off. I'm very sorry. But
I
yeah, no,
hate it. I hate it. Move
oh, here
on.
we go again.
Move on.
Oh no, that there goes the majority of my comments. But yeah, so yeah, no, it was that was an interesting thing. So moving on. Yeah, so of course we get the first view of what I suppose you would call the editing room with Simon Pegg.
Oh yeah. Oh, just
And
before we jump to that, the lift up there where it's
mhm.
traveling at like 100 floors a second. I live in Dubai. I go up floors 50, 60, 70. Her ears or his ears or whoever's in that lift would be popping like fucking crazy. I tell you, that's all I could think when I was watching that scene as they're going up
Would
the lift.
they
I was
though?
like, yeah, what are you talking about? 100%. You
Yeah,
go up 20 floors and your ears start popping.
yeah, but we're on Earth.
Ah,
So would they? I mean, I don't know the physics behind it, but
that's a
I'm
good
thinking
question. If
because
there's
that's
no
to do with the air
gravity, can
pressure,
your
isn't it?
ears
Yeah.
pop? Yeah. Yeah, but there's artificial air in there. There's a fake gravity in that space station.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. She would have been absolutely smushed on the floor. Like the way how quickly that lift was going. Gravity still
And
works, of course,
then
because
I
she's
love it
attached.
just gets to floor 500 and it just stops dead as well. Like there's no slowdown. It's just like you've hit a brick wall or the central reservation or something and you just
Yeah,
stopped.
she would have been like kind of stuck on the floor, and then they'd have had to peel her off the ceiling when it stopped. You know, it'd have
Yeah.
just been like kind of I don't know, like pizza dough. You know, when you kind of like fry it from one hand to the other, it literally would have been like that.
Yeah.
But
I
no,
would have
I did think
loved to have
that.
seen that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go on.
So
So
yeah,
the editing room, yeah.
so we get a first look at the editing room with Simon Pegg, who but I just cannot rate high enough as an actor. I know I said it last week, but I love Simon Pegg. He's so good.
Oh, he's
He's
a
just so
delight in this. He's
he's
sort of
just so
campy.
versatile.
Oh, he's
Oh,
brilliant. He's very good in this.
he is very good. And of course, I like kind of super cool in technology, always cool. But I mean, that was taking it to another level, you know. And I
Oh, they've
know
turned Simon
we,
Pegg albino.
they have. That was a really weird way to say albino, by the way, but fair enough.
Albino, sorry. I think I went American for a second there. Fuck's
Oh
sake.
no.
I'll fix it in the edit. I'll say albino. There you go. I'll edit that bit back in.
Oh dear. But yeah, so no, and of course we then find out that the people there are they're actually dead, and that's part of the reason why I'm assuming they had it super cool, but not only Max, but for kind of to stop decomposing everything, which again is kind of creepy, kind of weird, but I was
Yeah,
digging
it's
it. I
quite
thought,
cool.
yeah, that was quite interesting.
Are
But
they
the
dead
big
though? Because you get the little bit at the end where Suki grabs his leg. What's that
No, because
about?
they got the computer chip, haven't they?
Yeah, but are they alive or are they dead? How does she grab his leg?
Just firing electric just through a muscle, through the
Oh, okay,
computer chip.
maybe. Did you
That's
see
what I
her
saw
tits at
anyway.
that point though?
No, but okay.
Go back and rewatch it. I've just put a note here that just says boobs on dead Suki pulling peg. Like, just there's a few of Suki's boobs. There's one bit where they're watching her on the camera and it's like an overhead shot. I'm like, oh, boobs. And then when she topples on the floor and she's dead, which is weird. I'm not a necrophiliac, by the way. But like Simon Pegg is jiggling his leg, which is jiggling her arm, which in turn is
Oh
obviously
dear.
having a bit of a titty wiggle. I was just like,
Oh
oh,
dear.
love a bit of boob.
Just ice cold, you know.
Ice cold dead boobs, my favorite kind. Will this
So
stay in the will this stay in the edit? I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. But yeah, okay. So the biggest question though, going on to the biggest
Yeah,
question of this
moving on.
episode. A beef slush puppy.
I'd try it.
Would you Yeah, no, so would I.
Yeah,
That in fact,
100%.
there you go. That makes that great. I'd have a go. I mean, I have bacon and a milkshake at Five Guys.
Yeah, don't you think it just sounds like something you'd get at Reading Festival? There'll be one nutter with a stall that's selling fucking beef milkshakes. 100%.
I mean, yeah. Well, beef milkshake. I don't know because beef and milk doesn't seem like it go together. But like, kind of like
A beef slushy, you know what I meant.
a beef slushy. Yeah, no, that seems like. I mean, they give like you see it when it's like really hot. They'll give like kind of like beef like popsicles to like the lions and the tigers and everything like that, and they just like lay there and lick them like ice lollies.
I bet it exists, to be fair. I bet there is a beef slush puppy or something.
Probably.
I'm going to try
Again,
and Google it now.
very futuristics. You know, because it's very futuristic in the fact that they're like, oh yeah, like we just put meat in everything, and there's no such thing as normal food anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly. It is. There is. Is there?
There is.
Oh no, it's coming up with the TARDIS wiki, so no, I presumably not.
Oh
Oh,
dear. So yeah. So then
okay. So we were talking about boobs.
which we're probably going to edit out, but we'll get there. So so
I bet I
they then
won't.
take. Oh well, hey, up to you, up to you. You're the editor. Yeah, I just do the socials, you know.
I am
Um,
Simon Pegg. I'm the editor.
you're the editor. Well,
Editor
no,
in
it's technically
chief.
Max. I was gonna say technically Max is the one that wanted to know, but we'll get to Max in a bit. We'll get to Max.
Well,
So
just whilst we're on him, what's his name?
Max,
What's his species?
he's alien.
No, I'll give you. I don't know the full
I
thing, but he's the mighty
honest,
something.
it was one of those things, right? Where's my note? So my note is thank fuck he called him Max because I have no chance of getting that name. Because literally, as soon as I was like, oh no, I was sitting there, I was getting ready to write at the top of my notes again and break it all down. And he went, but we call him Max, and I was like, Simon Pegg, you absolute angel. I now don't have to worry. I can just call him Max, which is perfect. So
I'm going to do one of the
Max
questions in our series finale quiz is going to be name the aliens. This one's the mighty Jagrafess.
Jagrafess. No, I swear there was something else on there as well. That's why they called him
Yeah,
Max.
it's a really long name. It's the mighty Jagrafess of something, something, something. But Jagrafess, we call
Yeah,
him Jagrafess.
or we called him Max because
Or
Max
we
is his
call him.
name, you know.
Right, go on. You want to talk about the first fight?
Yeah, so the first spike. So the thing I put, of course, they all then circle around and they what I thought was going to play the bongos, but it's actually just a connectivity thing. And something I noticed is it's the year 200,000 AD, but everyone still dresses for the noughties, which
Everybody still dresses
just
terribly. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm seeing those low cut jeans and those kind of very kind of questionable t-shirts and well, kind of t-shirt jumper things, weren't they? But
Yeah. Well, sadly, the
yeah,
low
no,
cut
that made me
jeans are
laugh.
making a comeback as well, which I'm not a fan of. But...
Hey, I don't mind them. I mean, I can't wear them, but I don't mind them. I just don't have
no,
the fig.
not gonna
I don't have the
lie.
figure for it. The
But
figure
yeah,
or the confidence for it. Yeah.
right. So I have a question. What is happening there?
Well, he explains it, doesn't he? He says that they're up. Well, what he said again, I wasn't sure because when it came to kind of revealing, pulling back the curtain and showing the true wizard, I wasn't sure if that actually meant everything the doctor said was fake, but they were saying that they were uploading information directly to her brain, so all of the news in the world at the time.
Okay, but then he says as soon as she closes, she forgets it. It's in her brain, but she can't remember once that closes because her mind would blow up, right?
Because the mind would blow up. Yeah,
So what's the point?
that's a good point, actually. I
Because
wonder
we
if it.
see at the beginning, there's like news reports and stuff, and it's just
There
news
are, yeah.
reporters talking. So what's the thing with like I get it as a social commentary, we're just getting information fed into our brains, but I don't get it from a narrative point of view because she doesn't do anything with the information. As far as I'm aware, she's not broadcasting there and then. It doesn't
Well,
go
in
anywhere.
fairness,
Like I don't get it.
yeah. I mean, in fairness, we didn't actually see the full process because
Yeah,
the
true,
editor
true.
the editor cut it off, didn't? Because Suki's they kind of interrupted Suki's connection, I guess you'd call it. They've
Yeah,
interrupted that, and then that's what cut it short.
Kafka's
Yeah,
connection.
but
Yeah, Suki is
well,
the
no,
one
because
with the
Kafka.
boobs.
Yeah, but so what? Because Kafka's on the chair, and then Kafka
Yes, yeah,
says
yeah.
to Suki, she says, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, it must have been a glitch." And then, of
Yes, yeah,
course,
yeah,
they
yeah. You're
promote
right. You're
her
right.
and
You're
take her
right. Yeah,
upstairs.
yeah.
So I'm assuming if we'd have seen the full process, we might have had a better idea of what's then done with that information, whether they like extract it or something. Who knows? Who
I
knows?
don't know.
But
Yeah, it just seemed very strange. And like I've seen this episode 100 times, and I was watching it quite intently. I was quite into it this week, but I was just, I don't know what this is doing,
yeah,
other than setting up the finale, obviously.
yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, like, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I wonder if
Yeah.
Suki has something to do with the finale because I did. There was a plot point that was just never picked up on again in the episode, and I was like, I wonder if that's got something to do with the finale because I remember you saying this is going to be this is setting up the season finale, and I was like, I wonder if it's going to be that. But we'll get there. We'll get there when we get
We'll
there.
get there. We'll
Um,
get there.
Adam's a bit dodgy, isn't he?
Oh, what a slimy little man. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you look at the previous episode. I know you were moaning saying that he left Rose to kind of fend off the Dalek, but I don't know. I felt like that was the kind of Rose that's just being slow. But yeah, he really changed his kind of I don't know. He just changed his tone. Really, he was there for profit.
I
Maybe
like it though.
Van
I
Houten.
like it.
Did
Yeah.
you?
So what? Yeah, I just as a counterpoint to Rose, just to show that actually Rose is because we all sort of like the point of the Doctor and a companion is that we will relate to one of them. If we don't relate to the Doctor, we relate to the companion. That's typically why it's male and
Yep.
female. So
Hmm.
we all expect ourselves to make the same decisions that Rose makes. We all think, oh, well, we'd all do the same thing in that situation. So I think by inserting Adam, it's a reminder to the audience members that actually Rose is above and beyond what the normal person would do. The normal person would sell out. The normal person would, be a little bit dodgy with it. Maybe.
Kind of
And
like,
all,
yeah,
oh,
kind of like the guy from Saving Private Ryan, isn't it? You know the one that's cowardly towards the end.
yeah, just watches that guy get knifed in the
Yeah,
chest and then just walks
everyone
away. Yeah.
goes, "Oh, how could he do that? How could he stand there?" And then you're like, "Oh, actually, like probably the true human reaction is to protect yourself
Yeah,
first." Yeah, no, I
exactly,
get
mate. Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But yeah. So I think his inclusion in this is brilliant. He is an absolute slime. I did expect something else to happen when he gets the key to the TARDIS. I was like, that's got to be something other than it just coming out of his pocket. That was a bit like, oh, there should have been better payoff.
yeah. I thought when she gave him the keys, one thing straight away, Rose is a bit too trusting, isn't she? Really?
Yeah,
I
first
mean,
date, give him the keys.
she's just met this man and she's given him the keys to the car. Like, you just
Yeah, yeah,
that's a rookie move. That's like sitting down for a first date on a dinner and just going, "Oh, here's my card, by the way."
yeah,
Just
exactly. It is. Yeah,
you
yeah.
just like I get that you have to have that element of trust, but trust has got to be built. You can't just go there and then, and it kind of does backfire a little bit, really. Not as drastically as it could have, but yeah, I genuinely thought he was going to run off with the TARDIS and trap him there, but he
Yeah,
didn't.
so did I. Yeah.
He just ended up getting the front, kind of a frontal lobotomy of scariness, really. But
Well, yeah. Instead of going off and running around in the TARDIS, he goes downstairs and has a weirdly sexual encounter with a medical officer.
with the
Did you
medical
pick up on
officer,
that?
yeah,
He
it
was
was very strange.
strangely seductive.
She was getting very close to him. For a medical professional, you'd be asking questions.
Just like her voice and everything. I was just like, is she being sexy on like I'm not attracted to her, but I was like, I, you could probably trick me into sleeping with you, I reckon. I was just sort of getting those vibes. Do you know what I mean?
Two very like kind of distinct ends of the stick there. You've got kind of a complete frontal lobotomy, or kind of you're sleeping with them. It's
Well,
kind
any
of a
hole's a goal, JP.
oh dear. Oh no, that's not an image I want. Oh no. God, that'd give you a hell of a headache though, wouldn't it?
Oh, I fucking bet it would. What would you even
But
call that? A mind job?
oh, don't. No, that's literally a mind fuck.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, there goes our PG rating.
Are we giving head or are we getting head? I don't know.
Oh no. Anyway, should we get back on topic before we
Lots
completely
of edits to do
obliterate
this week that I'll completely
Yeah.
forget.
Oh dear. Yeah. Again, I really don't want to set you off, but I got to mention the rat race again. Let me
Go on,
let
go
me
on.
run with this one. Let me run with this one. So,
Go on.
big commentary on the rat race again from Russell T Davis. Rats in a maze climbing the way to the top, but they find it's just cold. There's not. That promise of gold just isn't there. It's just ice cold. And there's the saying, "Dog eat dog." You know what I mean? It just that was that bit. Suki's so excited, and I know she's pretending to be someone that's going to be excited, but she's excited to get up there, and she gets up there, and it's just not what it's cracked up to be.
Just a
And
damning
again,
reality. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's a big commentary. It's very very obvious that that's kind of one of the two themes that Russell T Davis was going for in this one. So, and then we bring on to Simon Pegg again, and he just does it's that little hand wave he does just with the fingers, and I'm just like, that is brilliant.
Yes, yes.
It's so good. That's brilliant. Honestly, if we can get Simon
It is
Pegg on
good.
it, it would make like kind of
Oh,
really.
don't
But,
even. That'd be fucking class. I
oh,
did like
it's
as well that when they do go up, nobody notices this weird, fleshy shark thing hanging from the ceiling until Simon Pegg tells them to look up. It happens with the Doctor and Rose. It happens
yeah.
with Suki.
No,
You'd notice that, wouldn't you?
I was going to say, if something growled at me from the ceiling, I'd probably think to look up. It's a natural reaction, isn't it?
Especially if you've been told the walls are gold, your eyes are naturally going to be looking at the walls and presumably the ceiling at the same time.
the ceilings
And
as well.
nobody
Yeah,
picks it up until Simon Pegg is out. I just, I'm
he
picking
just
flaws
points
in
up.
this season. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's it. But wow, how cool was the reveal, like the revelation that she was a spy though?
It's nothing really. Do you know what I mean?
I quite like that. I just didn't. I honestly didn't see it coming at all. Until she pulled a gun, and I'm like, damn, I didn't see that because when they kind of give you a little bit of a red herring because when the episode first
Yeah,
starts,
yeah, yeah.
the editor is looking on the screen and he's saying something's up here, something's up, and of course
You think it's
Rose
the
and the
doctor, right?
Doctor
Yeah, yeah,
are in the
exactly.
same frame as Suki, and you just kind of you think, oh, he's probably making a comment on the Doctor, the fact that the Doctor shouldn't be there. But it's actually Suki. I really, really like that. I thought that was a brilliant red herring, and it was just like, wow, just suddenly she just went from 0 to 100 real quick, and it was like, okay, fair enough. I mean, I was a little bit gutted that she kind of died. I was hoping they'd do a little bit more, kind of with her character before they killed her off. But yeah, I guess it showed that the stakes are high, and this place is, the place there's evil. So
Yeah, another episode of a children's TV program with literal frozen dead bodies, a shark thing coming from the ceiling. This is dark, man.
oh,
This series
I
is
was
dark.
I was gonna say I did love the kind of the camera zoom. You know that kind of 80s monster camera zoom that there always used
Yeah,
to be in the
yeah, yeah,
horror
yeah.
movies, where they just obviously tell the actor to stand there and look in the camera and we'll zoom the camera. I just love that. It's just such a nostalgic. It's like, oh, that's brilliant. I like that. And again, it was just seeing that. I was like, yeah, you could tell this was made in 2005. That's brilliant.
Yeah, you
But
can, can't you? Yeah.
yeah, no, a lot. I've got to say, a lot of dead people. Didn't expect Doctor Who to have so many deaths in it.
Well, I tell you what, let's track that for this season then. So far, we've had someone die in every episode. We had um what was the guy's name in the first episode? Clive. Clive gets shot in the
Live.
head.
Yep.
End of
Yep.
the world. People are dying left, right, and center. The Unquiet Dead is literally a story about dead people.
About dead people. Yep.
Aliens of London, dead Prime Minister, World War
Yep.
Three. They're killing people left, right, and center. They
Dead
blow up a room
Slovene.
full of
Yep.
aliens. Dalek,
Yep.
fucking murder spree.
Yep.
In this
And
one,
then, of course,
you've got a space station run by dead bodies.
yep.
Interesting. So we're
Yeah.
over halfway through the season. Oh, we're in the back run now. We've only got fucking 4 episodes left. And one of them's a
I know.
two-parter. Oh no, shit. So after this, sorry, pardon my French, we've got single episode next week, then it's a two-parter, then it's a single episode, then it's a two-parter, and we're done.
God, I love a two-part this season, don't
They do. So we've got 1,
they?
2, 3, 4 weeks left. Then we've finished season 1, JP.
Look at that. Doesn't time
Look at
fly
that.
when you're having fun, eh?
So yeah, so we will log whether someone dies in every episode. I've just had a little flip through, and I think they fucking do, I think they do.
There we go. The thing you said about last week about the whole Bill Gates commentary, William
Yes.
Fence, I did make me think because then they started going they then moved from the corporate rat race into the whole fake news thing, and of course everyone knows that Fox is apparently very dodgy, and we're very lucky in England we don't really get Fox News, but yeah, that's you see it on
We
social
have
media all
something
the time.
so much fucking worse at the minute, JP. There's a YouTube channel called GBN or something like that. Have you watched any of those?
No, can't say I ever have.
Oh, mate, I'm going off on a rant again. I fucking
Oh, no.
hate it. Basically, I don't know who's running this channel, but they're just hiring all of the people that are being fired for being cunts on TV. So Piers Morgan is the obvious one. He's now on it. You've got Sodin. Just the worst people in the world presenting this fake news, and all the big headlines are like, Piers Morgan asks if he can identify as a teapot and shit like that.
Good.
But it's done as if it's a news channel, mate. It's fucking terrible.
Oh
And
dear,
so,
that just
mate.
sounds a recipe for disaster, really, doesn't it? But
Mate, I hate it.
getting slightly back on track, I did wonder if they were going to call it like Badger News or something like that. Some kind of pest that goes around in the UK that I was thinking Badger News or something like that. And it was just I was like, but you never actually see it named at all. It's just a generic news
Yeah.
company. So I was like, okay, I wonder if they learned their lesson from the William Fence thing. But
Yeah, they didn't
yeah,
want to piss
lot of-
anyone off this episode.
No, exactly. They already pissed the UN off, and then they pissed off Bill Gates, and they were like, "Look, we can't make it a hat trick. We just got to stick
No,
to the script." But
exactly. Well, they
yeah,
managed to piss me off 20 years after I fucking watched it. I'll tell you that for sure.
oh dear. Yeah, I don't know what's worse, to be honest, pissing the UN off or pissing you off. But
Oh.
yeah. But yeah, no, then we kind of shift from corporate rat race into the whole fake news thing, and he just goes on that. Well, like it's a rant, pretty much you could call it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it's
absolutely.
just about everything, and it's scarily, as you say, it's still relevant 20 years later.
If
You know,
anything, it's
you look at it
more
now,
fucking relevant, mate.
yeah, and you just look at it now, and you're just like, damn, that's kind of that's very scary, and the fact that the news can change opinions, it can change, it
It
just
can
it's
change
so
votes for
powerful.
fuck's sake. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, mate.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
that's it. So
mental.
that's a very a very scary kind of prediction from 2005 there.
And then just another prediction. I think it's at a different point, but he's like, why are there no aliens on this space station? And then she
Yep.
reels off this like, oh, but immigration's tightened up. Oh, but there's political turmoil. Oh, but there's all this. I'm like, fuck me, this is 2023. Like, it's what a prediction. Fucking
Yeah, no, that's
is
it.
Trump's government is what's running this. Donald Trump is this fucking Jaggerfest.
I was going to say it is scary. It is actually scary how relevant it is now, and you're
Yeah.
just like, wow, that's yeah. It's just scary, very very
And just
scary.
on
But
that, a lot of right, I don't like Jodie Whittaker's era of Doctor Who because
mhm.
I don't really like the writing and I don't think she's a good actor. I've said it. But a lot of people jump on the bandwagon that it's no good because it's too woke. Doctor Who has always been fucking woke. We've brought it up a number of times already. In this episode alone, you've got the multi-sex undecided or robot, you've got the corporate rat race, you've got the fake news, and you've got immigration. Like Doctor Who has always been woke. Don't give that as a fucking excuse for not liking Doctor Who now. It's always been woke. It will always be woke. Fucking get on with it.
I was gonna say, people just nowadays they just look at they don't look at they don't look at the good things. They just look at the bad things, and they look for something to latch onto and just go, oh, it's bad because of that.
Exactly.
It's very very weird.
Every cunt nowadays think they can just start up a podcast and start ranting and raving about things that aired 20 years ago. And it's not fucking right. We should put a stop to it.
Yeah, who would do a podcast about something 20 years ago,
Who would do a podcast
eh?
complaining about something that aired 20 years ago? Oh, honestly,
God,
I'll
I don't know.
tell you.
Wouldn't I be that guy? It's
Everyone
yeah.
thinks everyone's so fucking narcissistic that they think everybody wants to hear their opinions on something that's older than they are nearly.
Well, not quite, but yeah, no, we'll take that. We'll take that. Talking of scary things though, how grim is the info spike?
I'm sort of numb to it, to be fair. I don't know if it's because I saw it as
I
a
don't know.
kid, but
I mean, it's one of those things. Again, I've got to look at it because we're very lucky in the fact that cinema and it's all moved on. You could watch something that could be realistic, and you just go, wow, that's really realistic. But even still, though, that does look as a kid that's
it's not
probably
bad, is
gonna
it? Yeah.
yeah, like that's again that's got the potential for a few kind of sleepless nights. Really, it's very weird. It's very yeah, it's just I didn't expect him to show that much of the brain. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, why not? Here we go. And again, the CGI didn't look out of place. Something I did know.
It's all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Something I've always heard about Doctor Who is the CGI is not always the best. It doesn't look, it doesn't stand up. But I've got to say, it wouldn't look out of place nowadays.
No, I agree. You'd expect to see that on a TV show nowadays. Like
Yeah.
it's held up, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a little bit dated, but when you're immersed in the story, and I think this is a big thing, you can look past it, to be fair.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, and then of course we meet Max for the first time. Well, I say the first time. He made an off a few off-screen appearances, and yeah, interesting looking alien, isn't he?
Yeah, interesting design. I saw, like I mentioned it earlier, but they based the design off a chunk of meat and a shark. Like that was the brain thought
Yeah,
behind it, and yeah, nailed it. To be fair,
yeah. No, I was gonna say you can see the similarities, but yeah, no, very, very just weird looking kind of alien. Which again, it looks evil. You're just like, yeah,
yeah, it does. Yeah,
that's an evil looking alien. You kind of. I mean, I don't know if there's more of them in the world or not, but
I was going to say I'd
yeah.
love to go to their planet. Like, how how are they a thing? Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
You know
work
what?
unless it's in that situation. It's the only sort of downfall I think it has.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just live on a very cold planet or something. You just don't know, do you?
But I will mean, like, what do they do? How do they move? How do they eat? Where's their stomach? Like,
Well, how do they eat? You see the big old teeth that they had.
yeah, true.
But yeah, no, very very weird looking alien. As I said, evil looking alien. And yeah, I mean, again, the kind of the how they overcome and how they defeat Max is quite interesting because it doesn't, again, is what we said last week, and the fact that it's not technically the Doctor that actually saves the day.
Yeah, exactly. Another episode where the Doctor doesn't save the day. I think that tips us into probably about 60-40, someone else saving the day now.
Yeah, no, I think it does. I think it does. But again, I like that kind of. It's not one person that's consistently saving the day. It's teamwork. If you want to
Yeah.
get things done, you need teamwork. And I quite like that. And again, it wasn't even. It just kind of showed you that the lower floor. It was someone on the lower floors that actually saved them on the top floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a revolution. It's the people from the
Yeah,
bottom coming up and toppling the top. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Which I quite liked.
And I would
And
just
yeah,
like to finish my rant by saying the only way we will reclaim society is if we do stop feeding shit into our brain and reverse it, and we start using our brains and thinking about things and fucking standing up against the people up top. It's the only way. Social media is ruining the fucking society. It's the worst thing to happen in our fucking lifetimes, I tell you. I hate it. I hate it.
I really hope there's no more Doctor Who episodes about news.
I fucking hate
Oh,
it, Jack.
I know I know what the socials are going to be about this one. I'm just going to put up just a fake news stamp or something like that.
We
And just
need to stop downloading this shitty media into our fucking heads and put our phones down for 5 minutes and go and experience the world and think on things as well. Nobody thinks on, right? The perfect analogy, right, is streaming services releasing series all at once, right? If you look at the significant series that have been in the past 10 years, the ones that stick in your mind, you've got Game of Thrones, what's the Breaking Bad? What other ones,
Walking
JP?
Dead,
Walking Dead, yeah.
Sons of Anarchy.
Less so, but I get your point.
What? Sons of Anarchy was amazing.
Yeah, but what have all of them got in common?
No idea.
They were released weekly.
Yeah.
Because it gives your brain time to sit on it and think about it and have discussions about each episode weekly, and it becomes more of a significant event. If you look at the ones that just get dropped the entire series, okay, you've got like your Stranger Things as an example, but you'd struggle to name series that are dropped whole series in advance that have had as much of a significant impact on society than the ones that are released weekly. And it doesn't always work. Secret Invasion is being released weekly at the minute, and that's not a good show, so it probably won't stay in the zeitgeist.
I was to say, how are you watching Secret Invasion?
But I am going to binge it at the end because I've heard it's crap. But WandaVision and all that sort of stuff, I watched it as it came out weekly. I just think this, like, our brains, we are like, okay, we're evolving, but our brains aren't supposed to consume like we're consuming at the minute. We're not supposed to spend hours a day on social media. We're not supposed to watch hours of TV on an end. We can't comprehend it. And that's the best example I can see that it doesn't actually work. The reason these streaming services, these streaming platforms are in so much trouble at the minute is because they're losing engagement, and they're losing engagement because we're being fucking overfed with entertainment and with fucking content. Like, again, we keep on bringing the MCU up, but the MCU has dipped in quality, and the argument there is it's because we've got another film coming out every 2 or 3 fucking months, right? Like, okay, that's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons. Like, our brains aren't supposed to consume content this much, and it's not fucking working. We need to stop downloading information so much. We need to start thinking and just stopping and thinking about things, man. We should be fucking Google. Fucking Google is what's making us all brain dead fucking idiots. We don't think about things anymore. We say something and then it's immediately fact checked by Google. So yeah, there and then we learn that fact. But because we've learned it instantly, you don't remember that fact a week later. I don't remember half the shit I was Googling last week. But if I'd have actually had to stop and think about it or read a book or fucking look it up properly or do some research, it would be retained in my brain. It's just more evidence that we're not supposed to consume content this way. And I've gone on a rant again, JP. Why has this episode riled me so much?
I don't know, but I found the Holy Grail in the time you came back and, after you finished ranting. So, anyway, so Doctor Who, which we're here to talk about and not the media and, kind of consumerism and everything like that. The final part, of course, Adam still has his very permanent head modification, should we call it?
Yeah, he's mind fucked.
He's mind fucked, yeah. And he just really made me laugh how the Doctor is just stood there, just clicking the entire time.
I love it. Just and then Rose has a cheeky little go as well.
You'd have to. You wouldn't, like, how else would you deal with it? You just have to. And the best thing is you look to time it at like inconvenient spots as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, for me, the first thing I thought of was, when you come in for the shopping, you shut the car boot, you've got both handfuls full of shopping, click there, done, that's it. What are you going to do? Click, drop the shopping?
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking, like, in the shower, what would happen if water got in there?
Oh dear, that would be horrible. It'd be like water going, well, not up your nose, but down your nose.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, wouldn't it? Yeah. Very strange. And then obviously his mum does the click, and it's very funny. And all that.
How brilliant was that? I didn't expect that at all.
Did you know? Did you know?
I was just like, I was like, oh, that's a really nice, reunion. Yeah, they've kind of got back together, they've reunited, and then she just goes, yeah, click. And I was in absolute easy. I didn't expect it. Did not expect it.
But he gets the option to activate it any way he wants. Why would you pick the click? Surely you'd go for, like, activate hole in my head, or you'd have a safe word, or, like, I don't know. Come on, think about that. Come on, what are you doing, man?
I don't know what my word would be. It'd have to be a word that you wouldn't actually put in a sentence, would it?
I know. It would have to be something ridiculous. I'd have it as a phrase. I'd be like, right, activate, hole in my head, like you wake up your Amazons or your Siris or whatever.
Hey, Alexa.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, hole in my head.
Or as your dad calls it, Alexki.
Oh God. Oh, that was a painful 6 months, wasn't it?
Oh dear. For those of you, everyone that doesn't know, is Josh's dad bought an Alexa, and he couldn't quite work out how to say Alexa, and he just kept calling it Alexki, which of course he didn't pick up.
And he just never got it. He just never got it.
He got very frustrated with it as well, which was quite funny watching you try and teach him how to use it. Yeah, I think he did actually. I think he did bit it. Yeah, but yeah. So no, I've got to say, I think with this episode actually seemed a lot quicker. It seemed to flow a bit better than the last episode.
Than Dalek.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed that the episode went a lot quicker than Dalek, and I think with Dalek they were trying to space it out and make it as tense as possible, which works. You kind of had that tension, but this one was, it seemed that it actually flowed. I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, the episode's ended. That's it. So, yeah. But so we go on to what do you want to do? Review the episode, or do you want to do it on the next time?
Just before we jump to the next time, we're literally as close to the midpoint as you can be. 7 out of 13 episodes. I'm gonna just run through the 7 episodes quickly, Jack, and then I want you to rank them just really quickly off the top of your head. So number 1, Rose. Number 2, End of the World. Number 3, Unquiet Dead. 4 and 5, Aliens of London and World War 3. 6, Dalek, and 7, The Long Game. Give me them in order of your favorite, right off the cuff. You can amend it later, but mid-season break.
1 is Rose. 2 is Dalek. I think 3 has probably got to be The World's End. I think then
that 4... other Simon Pegg property.
Yeah, that's true. That I think then probably I'd cuff 4 and 5 together as one episode.
Yeah.
I'd probably say that they were kind of 4 and 5, and then I would say the what's the third episode? Whatever the third episode's called.
Unquiet Dead. Yeah.
Unquiet Dead. That's it. I'd say it was my least favorite. I still enjoyed it, but I just don't think it was as strong as the other 5.
Fair enough. But you're saying this is second to last?
God, that's a good point. Actually, I forgot about this episode. I'd probably put this one in at number 4. I think.
Better than Aliens of London and World War Three.
Yeah. Definitely better than Aliens in London World War 3.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right,
What about
so
you?
no, I'm not doing it. I like them all equally. I can't be asked to think about it right now. It's late here. It's 10:30.
That's a true parental question, like an answer there. Which child do you love more? I love you all equally.
I love you all
Just as they
equally.
walk out the room, Dalek, I love you the most.
So before we go on to reviewing it, just a few miscellaneous notes. Did you get the face of Bo popped up again?
I saw on the news. Yeah, the face of
On the
Bo pops
news?
up on the news. Yeah.
Face of Bo made another appearance. The medical officer, Tamzine Greg, I think her name is
Yep.
in Shaun of the Dead
Friday
with
Night Dinner.
Friday. Is it Friday Night Dinner?
Yeah, she plays the mum.
Is she?
Yeah.
I've never seen it, so I'm just checking that. Friday night.
Oh wait, no, I don't know. Wait.
No, it is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it
she
is.
looks
Yeah, no, it
fucking
was.
well different there.
Yeah.
Yeah, bang on. But she's also in Shaun of the Dead. You know when they
Shaun of the
meet
Dead.
people
Yeah,
say she's in another. She's in another.
She
Simon
plays
Pegg.
what's her name? Yvette's mum, isn't it? Is it Yvette?
No,
They
I
cross over
think.
in the alleyway.
Yeah. Right. And then I think they're in Black Books together as well. Maybe does Simon Pegg make an appearance in Black Books?
Never
A little
seen
bit
Black
before
Books.
our time. Yeah. Black Books. So they're in Black Books. So they're alumni basically. They do a lot of things with each other.
That's cool.
Now is it pretty? Oh, so I thought for sure that this was the same space station as episode 2. Just I don't know why I had them. It's not basically.
No, it's definitely not. Definitely.
I really thought it was at first.
No, in fact, I do think we get 2 external shots. We definitely get an external shot on this one. I think we got an external shot of the other one.
Yeah, no, and they are very
2.
different.
They are very different. But yeah, no, they're definitely not the same one. But I like you thinking though. It could have been interesting.
But the only other thing of note was the brain hole was supposed to be originally the whole top of their head would open, but because of budget, they had to cut that.
Yeah, you could see that.
Yeah. That's it. So, Jack, love it or hate it?
Yeah, love it. I'm gonna carry on with the love it. I think it was a good episode.
Yeah, it's definitely another love it for me. It is a little bit of filler, but as I said, it's the long game. Just keep that in mind.
I just feel like there was something interesting with kind of Suki actually being a rebel. I just feel like there's something else there.
Oh, actually, did you get the Easter egg?
No, see, that was kind of what I thought the Easter egg might have been, in the fact that she was a rebel and there would have been something there. But no, it was just nothing. Again, like last episode, Dalek. I just no clue. I mean, I saw the face of Bo and I thought, oh, maybe that. But then I'm sitting there thinking, well, he hasn't. He's only appeared in episode 2. So yeah, no idea.
Yeah, I would say it was a little bit harder to spot this week. I don't know if I'm overcomplicating for you. I saw someone had referred to it as it's a repeated reference that keeps on getting mentioned in every episode and then has a payoff towards the end of the series. So maybe that will help you tailor your search for the next episode. And I'm not 100% sure it's in the next episode. Actually, which won't help you at all.
Interesting. Oh God.
But yeah, so go on, what did you think of the next time? I actually missed the next time this week. I was shooting off just as this episode was ending, so I can't remember what's revealed in it. So what did you think of it?
Well, so they apparently go back to when Rose's dad died. By the way, called it back in episode 1.
You did. You
called
did.
it back in episode 1. I just and they obviously go to like, I'm assuming Rose tries to save her dad, and then that causes almost like a time paradox, and then these dragon things turn up to try and sort everything out, almost like the TVA, but if they were lizards.
Yes, the Reapers they're called. Yeah, and they never make an appearance ever again, which is a bit frustrating. But
well, because the timeline never gets messed up again.
Oh, sure. Oh.
I'm going to be regretting that one in a couple of seasons' time, and but yeah. So, but no, yeah. So I've got to say, I do love. I mean, I love Loki as kind of as a series. I thought it was really, really good. I'm looking forward to this one. I just think there's a shot in the next time where you see Rose and the Doctor in the foreground, and you also see Rose and the Doctor in the background as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I just like a messy time, kind of time paradox.
I agree. Haven't seen this one for a while, but it's held quite high in my opinions. I think it's a fucking absolutely brilliant episode. But we will get there next week, JP. Thank you very much for doing this with us. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate all our listeners. Thank you for engaging on our social media. Thank you for rating us on your podcast platform. Thank you for recommending us to your friends. We really appreciate it. And thank you for just being a pretty fucking cool community, to be fair. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, we really do appreciate it. As Josh said, any questions, just hit us up on the socials. We're now on Twitter, Thread, Instagram, and TikTok. Be sure to check us out over there. We'll kind of put updates, interesting kind of polls and everything like that. And of course, we'll try and give you a little bit of a kind of hopefully behind the scenes as well as to what we do in between, recording
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. And that's it. But no, guys, thank you so much. We really do appreciate all the love and kind of the kind of the correspondence and the rapport. And yeah, just keep telling your friends about us, and yeah, we'll keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks very much, guys. We're DocWhoPod on all our socials, and our email is docwhopod@gmail.com. So hit us up somewhere. But thanks for listening, guys, and thank you, JP.
Pleasure as always, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Adios, amigos.